Welcome to Random Select. Please enjoy.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mario. I'd like to welcome you into another episode of the Random Select podcast. Looked like we was having some technical difficulties, but hey, screw it. I mean, we're here. Um, I don't know. I just wanted to talk to you guys about why people won't let you change these days. It's like something you do in your past. They talk about it as if it happened 10 minutes ago. And sometimes when you as a person, you're trying to mature out of something, you're trying to grow out of something, you don't want to always be reminded of your past, because it always feels like no matter what type of strides you make, the other person just refuse to let you be what you're going to be. You know what I mean? They just refuse to accept the fact that you're changing. Because let's face it, let's say you're in a relationship, right? And and I'm speaking from the man point of view here, if you're in a relationship and you cheated, you lied, or you played games, or you did something to break your woman's heart, your girlfriend heart, or your wife heart, right? And she in turns decides that she wants to forgive you. She then accepts the fact that if you're actually trying to change, she has to actually try to give you that space, that opportunity, that room to work to try to change yourself. If she decides that she wants to forgive you and stay with you and continue to be with you and try to work at this relationship, she cannot be constantly throwing in your face what you did in the past. Because let's face it, if you decide to forgive me as a person, you are saying that you're willing to try for us to have something. But if you're constantly reminding me of how I messed up, or telling me, oh, here you go again, and things of that nature, then truth of the matter is, if you really feel that you can't believe in your heart that you want to give somebody a chance, you might as well just let them go. You might as well just say to yourself, I can't do it, because I know that I'm going to constantly be feeling like the shoe is going to drop again. He's going to constantly do me this way again. He's going to lie to me again. He's going to cheat on me again. So why hold yourself hostage that way? Why hold the person that you obviously lying about forgiving? Why hold them hostage that way? Why not just honestly just say, look, I can't do this no more. You hurt me. Because let's face it, once you have a person's trust and you throw it away, a lot of times, even though they may forgive you, they don't necessarily forget. And let's face it, once you've been in a situation like this, the trust never gets back the same anyway. She might trust you 90%, but she never kind of gets back to that wholeheartedly trust, that sparkle, that zest she had in her eyes for you when she first met you. She may not ever get back to that point. So I just don't understand why people constantly forgive people or say it's okay and let's try to make a go at it, but then constantly hanging over their heads. And I know some people say, if you don't understand your past, you're doing to repeat it. I get that. And I know some people say that, hey, you have to remind those people so they don't mess up again. But by you constantly reminding them that, hey, if you cheated on me once, you'll do it again, you're just constantly reminding me that you never truly got over it. Got over me hurting you. You never got over me cheating on you, doing you wrong, lying to you. You never really got over it. And we've been taught since we were kids, the first thing you do to get over something, you know what I'm saying? The first thing you do in order to forgive somebody, you got to truly get over it. If you're not over a traumatic event in your life. It's going to affect you for a long time. It's going to affect you. If somebody hurt you deeply, you can't say, oh, let's make a trial of it because you're scared to lose them, or because the love feels so strong that you feel like, oh, let's give it a try. If the love is that strong, you'll say, okay, I feel like I love you and I do want to make it work. This person made a mistake, right? So sometimes people make mistakes, but you got to say to yourself, yes, I understand and I recognize you made a mistake, but that's the type of mistake I cannot forgive. We got to get to the point where we're honest about that. We got to say, I love you, I care about you, but that's the type of mistake that I honestly cannot forgive. I will be laying right here beside you, laying in the bed with you, thinking about, why was he taking so long to come home from work? Who is this person calling him? Why has he always got his phone? You know, if you got to constantly feel like you got to do those type of things, you're not over the original thing that got you hurt. But if you do decide that you're going to give a person a chance, you got to give them room to change. You got to give them a leash. You know what I mean? You got to give them something to say, okay, I'll give you this much rope before you prove to me that, you know, you're the same old person. You know, like they say, a zebra can't change its stripes, you know, stuff like that. You got to give them a chance first before you decide that you're just not going to be that way. Because what happens is, because you didn't make that hard frontline decision to get rid of them or to stop dealing with them from the get-go, all y'all do in turn is simply waste time. Because if it ends up to the point where you guys are not going to be together anyway, all you did was just waste time and drive a wedge even further between you guys. Because now, if it get to that point, you're going to really hate them. You know, y'all can't be friends, or you can't, there's nothing here to salvage or anything like that. So we got to get to the point where you start to place a value on your time, place a value on your self-worth, place a value on who you are and how you see your relationships. Because now we're starting to feel like, well, it's better than having nobody. You know how many times I hear that? It's better than having nobody. So you're trying to tell me that when you're by yourself and you have nobody, you will break your own heart, you will lie to yourself, you will cheat on yourself and take yourself through all type of misery, heartache, and pain. That's what you would do to yourself. That's how much you love yourself. But you saying that it's better than having nobody. Without that nobody, you wouldn't have all that drama and all that stuff going on in your life. Yeah, you'll be a little lonely, but lonely is not as bad as constantly fighting with a person, constantly trying to follow and watch a person, make sure they do right. Unless you're just that type of person that love that type of thing, and there are people out there that like that. You know, those type of people are out there. So if you decide to forgive somebody after they hurt you, after they've lied to you or cheated on you or something like that, you got to give them room to change. Because if you don't give them room to change, eventually all y'all going to be doing is just a emotional relationship two-step that's going to end you back up at the initial point where you probably, in all likelihood, should have left from the get-go. Now, with all that being said, let me know if you guys agree with me. If you're out there and you're listening, call in. Let me know if you agree with what I'm saying. Let's just chit-chat anywhere it go. Just let me know. I'm about to, if I can, get this number up on the screen here, so you can just call in. Let me know how you feeling. Let me know, do you think that people can change? And if you do decide to forgive somebody for hurting you, how long do you think that you should give them to prove themselves? And are you looking for any little sign that says that they're not the same old person, they're in that same old rut, you know? So if you're out there and you want to talk and you got some opinions on this, go ahead, call the number that's on the screen, and we'll talk about it. And but I'm just saying that if that was me and I decided that a woman broke my heart, she lied on me, she cheated on me, and I said, okay, but I love her enough to give her a chance to try to redeem herself. Now, every time she come in late, I can't be questioning her, because that's almost like a form of sabotaging the relationship. Because if you feel that a person is going to do you like that, again, as you know, people like to say, you talk it into existence. Even though I kind of don't believe in that, I kind of believe people are going to do what they're going to do regardless. Sometimes whether you talk about it or not. Sometimes a pedophile is a pedophile, a rapist is a rapist, and a murderer is a murderer. No matter whether you speak it into existence or not, some people are just predispositioned to be certain things, predispositioned to do, certain things, say certain things, just like liars are predispositioned to lie. And I'm saying all this could be changed. People could be rehabilitated and all of those type of things. But I'm just saying sometimes the essence and the core of who you are, sometimes it's just the essence and the core of who you are. If deep down inside you're a really good person, sometimes 90% of the time, the good person shines through up under any conditions. Whether life is good or life was bad, you tend to still be a good person. Now, if you're a horrible, despicable person, as me and my friends like to say, if you're an asshole, a lot of times when people get money and we just say all money does, if you're an asshole, it just make you an even bigger asshole. When you get money and you're a good, generous person, all it does is make you more generous. So sometimes who you are is just who you are. But that's just not to say that you can't change, because if for those out there, and I'm speaking to, preferably my closest friends, I'm not the same person I was when I was between 17 to 25. Obviously, you change, you want to do things different. And not to say that I made a complete change. The core of me is still me, but just a few fundamental shifts in the way I believe about things and the way I see life. And just as my friend Dave like to always say, that light bulb comes on about 30. When you get about 30, all of a sudden something happens in your brain where everything becomes a little bit more clear. Everything becomes a little more understandable, and we talk about this all the time. Me and Decatur May Dave and the Frost Giant Will, other co-host of the Random Select podcast, which will be coming real soon to you guys. The gang will be back together. But I'm just saying, we talk about this all the time. When your light bulb comes on, what will you do with it? What's the purpose of it coming on and you don't take advantage of this newfound heightened awareness, this newfound, logical thinking that you have? What do you do with it? So I'm just saying, if you're out there and you decided that you're going to forgive somebody for hurting you, honestly, you owe it to yourself and that person to honestly give them a chance. Because if you don't, I'm telling you, all you're doing is wasting your time. Honestly, seriously, people, all you're doing is wasting your time, because you guys are going to end up broken up. Whether you did it right here, right today, or you did it in December or a year from now, all you did was wasted a year when that year could have been spent either healing or spent investing into a person that want to be with you, that want to treat you right and want to do good by you. Now, granted, that's becoming far and few in between, where you're finding people that want to settle down and want to do the right thing. And that's a whole nother podcast that I could talk about right there. The disturbing trend where, as I like to say all the time, a woman's body is her temple. We've been taught that. We've been preached that our whole lives. But now it just seems like, just like dollar overseas, I'm telling you, the woman's body has been devalued. People don't see it the same anymore. Even the women who willing the bodies and the coochies and the vaginas don't even value it the same as it used to be valued. So now, how can the person who's been spending all the time trying to get to the vagina value it? How can it all? How is that supposed to happen if the person who willing it don't place a high value on it anymore, but you want me to come along and place a high value on it? But like I said, that's a whole another podcast that I could do. Right now it's about, why won't you let me change? I mean, if you decide to forgive me and you decide to say, hey, we're going to make a chance, go at it. Why do I got to be put through the ringer to say I took too long to come home? Who are you calling? Is that a coworker? Is that a friend? Is that a new friend? I didn't meet her yet, and granted, I understand that once you cheat on somebody and you hurt them, yes, you got to put in the extra work to try to prove to them that you are sincerely sorry. You got to put in the extra work to prove to them that, yes, I made a mistake and I want to try to be better. But sometimes when you're putting in that extra work, and now this is if you're honestly putting in the work. I'm not saying that to the person who says, I'm sorry, going through the motions and still going out there doing the same bullshit. Nah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is for the person who's actually putting in the work, actually truly remorseful and sorry that they cheated on their spouse or their significant other or whoever it may be. That's what I'm saying. And then, 6 months to a year, you're putting in the work and they still bringing this up. They still talking about it like it happened 10 minutes ago. And no matter what you do, you can't win, because at some point you're going to get tired. And then they're going to say, oh, that's the way you treat me after I given you a chance to be back in my life. You say, yeah, you gave me a chance to be back in your life. But the whole time while I was trying to prove myself to you, I didn't make an inch in making a difference as into to you forgiving me. You let me in. You let me try to build it back, but you wasn't working with me. You wasn't doing anything to help facilitate this thing. And that's all I'm saying, people. You got to get to the point where you got to say, if I'm going to honestly try, I'm going to really try and forgive somebody. I'm going to really try to make this work for the both of us. And yes, that person should have never broke your heart. That person should have never cheated on you, should have never crossed that line, right? But if you feel that the relationship is worth salvaging and you feel that the relationship is truly worth something to you or something to that particular person, if you feel in your heart, if you know that this person is for you and y'all are good together, you owe it to yourself to honestly put a good effort forward to try to let this person change. Because a lot of times we say, oh, yeah, I forgive you. Oh, it's no problem. Or, we just be lying to ourselves when we keep all this resentment balled up and harbored in, when we really be want to say, I do not trust your lying, cheating ass, and I wish I can get rid of you. But because I got so many insecurities, so many complexes, I can't let you go because I'm scared to be alone. And having a half a piece of shit a person is better than having nobody. And if that's your logic for holding on to that person, then you really got to examine some things. You really got to say to yourself that I'm kind of fucked up. Because if that's your reason for it, then you kind of ruining two lives. And you kind of wasting time in two people's lives, your life and the other person. Because what you need to do is just let them go. Take some time to heal yourself. With all the recent stuff been going on in the world about mental health, sometimes people don't understand emotional health is a thing that needs to be addressed too. Because sometimes we let a lot of stuff go on in our life from an emotional standpoint that we know we shouldn't deal with, that we shouldn't ever deal with, period. But because all of us have our quirks, me included, what our thing is, you know what I mean? Some people can't be alone. Some people can't be in a committed relationship. Some people can't be faithful. Some people need adulation. Some people need people constantly telling them that they the man, you the woman, you a bad bitch, you a boss bitch. Some people need that, So it just depends on what your thing is. And then everybody like to say that they're normal. And as I get older, I start to question what is normal. We talk about normal all the time. What is normal? Everybody's definition of normal. What's done in that household could be normal, and to you say that's weird. But what's done in your household could be normal to you, but to them that's weird. You know what I mean? So what does it all mean? So I don't know. You just gotta forgive. And I'm not ever saying forget, because sometimes you do have to be careful. You do have to be leery of sometimes you have letting the fox into the hen house. I get that. But sometimes you got to do your due diligence right from the jump to try to see if you could determine if that's a fox from the get-go. Because a lot of time we are giving people keys to the kingdom way too soon. And I see it all over the place. 2-3 weeks, people moving in, 2-3 weeks, people driving each other cars. We're giving people access to the kingdom way too soon. So just to prevent yourself from having these issues and these heartaches, just take a little time, do your due diligence. And I know you figure that depending on what city you living in, that there's 9 women to every man. And if you feel if you don't snatch him up, someone else might. So what? So fucking what? Let someone else snatch up that problem. If you see that that's a problem, or you potentially see that it could be wrong, let the next woman have that man. Let the next man have that woman. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes just because something seems like a catch on the surface doesn't necessarily means it's a catch. Take a little time, and if we take a little time, a lot of this stuff could truly be cut out. You know? So that's all I really got to say about that, y'all. I want to thank y'all once again for letting me run off at the mouth. Like I said, you still got time. If anybody want to call in and debate this with me or chat with me or just say, hey, stop by, whatever, go ahead. It's okay. But if not, I'll go ahead and get ready to end this. But I just wanted to tell you guys that thank you for all the people that have been supporting Random Select over the past 2 years. We really do appreciate it. And I'm saying that coming from Valencia, coming from Colada, coming from Dave, coming from Will. We all appreciate it. That's the original crew. And we're going to get them back together at some point. I promise you that. Want to say congratulations to Valencia's oldest child getting ready to graduate high school. So that's a really good time for the family, really good time of the year. Her oldest is getting ready to move on, become a man. But you can find the Random Select podcast everywhere that podcast is at, people. You can go to therandomselect.com for more information where you can get blogs and vlogs and podcasts. You can also catch us on YouTube. Hopefully you're watching it on YouTube and Facebook Live right now. So that's it, people. If you get a chance, go ahead and share this or go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Let people know that what we're trying to do, we're trying to push it forward and, get the name out there, get the brand out there, get the content out there and let people know that the Random Select podcast does exist. Like I said, you can find us on iTunes, you can find us on Stitcher, Blueberry, we're on Google Play, TuneIn Radio. So pretty much anywhere where there's podcasting or social media, you can find the Random Select podcast. And with that being said, people, I want to thank you again. Sorry I keep hitting the microphone. Next show, I got to reposition this thing. But thank you guys. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. And thank you guys. And probably we'll be getting together soon to bring another one real soon. All right? Thank you. You the man.